Okay, in this video, I want to go over the problems for Chapter 3 on the midterm review. So firstly, I want to stress to you that you want to know certain vocab words, and the vocab words that you need are all listed right up here on the top. Okay, so that's one thing you need to know. Okay, if you're uncertain of the word's meaning, you want to definitely look it up in your notes, in your textbook, or listen to this video as I explain things later on. Okay, angles 1 and 2, that's these angles right here. These are on this line, and therefore their best relationship is that they are a linear pair. So they're a linear pair. Let me just write that a little bit better. Linear pair is what I want to call them. Okay, now let's go to 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are right here. Okay, those two angles are across from each other. That's why I drew that line. If they're across from each other, they are vertical. Okay, linear pairs are going to sum to 180, by the way. Vertical are going to be congruent. Okay, so I'll talk about that as well. Okay, let me erase what I have here. And let's talk about 1 and 5. So looking at 1 and 5, here and here. If I were to give you the location of these angles, I would say that they're above their individual lines and to the left of that transversal that's marked with a T. So since they have the same address, they are corresponding angles. Okay, that brings us to 4 and 5. So let's look at 4 and 5. They are both inside. So by inside, I mean that they are in between the two parallel lines, and they're on either side of that transversal. So they are alternate interior angles. That brings us to 4 and 6. So look at 4 and 6. They're on the same side of the transversal, and they're inside. So they are consecutive interior. Okay, consecutive interior will sum to 180, and alternate interior are congruent, as are corresponding. Okay, the last pair is 2 and 7. So look and see where they are. Here's 2, 7. They're both outside, and they alternate on either side of that transversal. So they are alternate exterior angles. Okay? Okay, moving on to these missing angle stories. Looking at this first problem, 2A, they want me to find the missing angles. So to do that, I have to do the following. I have to say, okay, 80 degrees is given here. That corresponds to angle 1, so that makes angle 1 80 degrees, and angle 2 is a vertical, so that's also 80 degrees. Okay, so that's done. Okay, angle 50 is opposite the 1. The label angle 1, therefore that's 50. Angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair, so therefore that's going to be 130 because they're going to sum to 180. Angle 3 and angle 1 are corresponding, so therefore that'll be 50. So I can write all of these values right here. Okay, that brings us down here. So looking at this, I see for A, I have a pair of alternate interior. So these are alternate interior. I know that they are congruent. So I'm going to say 65 equals x plus 12. Subtract 12, subtract 12. That gives me 53 for my x. So x is 53 degrees. To check your work, if you add 53 plus 12, I get 65, and that's what I want because it has to equal the other 65. Okay, looking at B, these two angles are consecutive interior. They are going to sum up to 180. So if you take 130 minus 70, you should get 60 plus 2x. So I combine my like terms here and here. That equals 180. Subtract 60 from both sides. I get 2x equals 120. And I get x equals 60 degrees. Plug it back in. 2 times 60 minus 70 gives me 50. And I know that 50 plus 130 is 180, and I'm okay. All right, going down to C, I am observing that both of those angles are exterior, and they are alternating. So alternate exterior are going to be congruent. So add those two guys together. Take your 105 and subtract away the 15. Minus 15 minus 15. That gives me 90 equals 3x. Divide by 3, divide by 3. That's going to give me x equals 30. Plug in the 30. 3 times 30 plus 15 gives me 105. And that's what I wanted, so I know I'm okay. Last one. These are vertical angles. So therefore 2x is going to equal 130. Because they're vertical, they have to be the same. Divide by 2. X will be 65. Let's just plug that in. 2 times 65 equals 130. And bingo, I am set. So that ends our Chapter 3 work. I hope you found this helpful. Go back and listen and try to guess what I'm going to say for each of these problems to have an effective review.